Hello and welcome to Soul Tuning. My name is Rajeshwari, and today's video is going to be about the mindset and this concept of jewel thinking. It's a treasure. I'm very excited to talk about it. It's worked wonderfully for me throughout my life. It's still working. I'm still learning about it. It's going to be an ongoing life process. Initially, I wanted to talk about weight loss. So I realized that we needed to talk about mindset first because everything that you do or don't do is a reflection of your mindset. So this talk is about changing your mind one moment at a time so you can start living in the life that you've always dreamed of consistently, more and more consistently. So what is jewel thinking? Well, I'll start by saying one simple thing. Master your mind, master your world. When you start to master your mind, you start to create a world with direct and effective intention. And it starts with jewel thinking. So I'll start with an example, and I'm going to use weight loss as an example because it's such a trigger for so many people. So, and from direct experience. So you start a program, right? Or you set your mind, right? You set yourself to do something, to achieve something. And in the beginning, maybe you start to see some success. You start to lose a little bit of weight. You start to feel a little bit stronger. Things are starting to move and you're like, all right, this feels good, right? And you're seeing results. You're seeing it's working, right? And then all of a sudden, something goes terribly wrong, right? Or it doesn't work, or it's not what it was a moment ago. And for most of us, including myself, that can really throw you off track. It can bring up old programming, emotions. Suddenly you're eating ice cream. Who knows, right? So this is just one example. Well, let's go back to when it was working. There was something going on when it was working. And when it stopped working, there's something going on. And in between the moment when it was working and it stopped working, there was something there. There is a jewel in there. There was a jewel in what was working. There was a jewel in why it stopped working. And there was a jewel in between the moments when it was working and it stopped working. There's information in there for you. When this happens and you get triggered, allow yourself to grieve or whatever you need to do. Allow yourself to throw a fit. And of course, try to do it in a responsible manner as much as you can, so you're not hurting anyone or anything. But it's more effective to be with it in the moment than try to shove it down for another time. You're going to get more information in the moment. You're going to see more of the jewels that we're looking for in the moment if you allow yourself to be raw with it and allow that to come up. Just to shed some perspective, life is not linear. If you look at the stock markets, for example, they're not constantly just going up in a straight line. They're not constantly just going down in a straight line. They're not just constantly going to the side in a straight line. They're going up and down and up and up and up and up and down, 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 down. And the ocean, you see an ebb and flow. Sometimes there's big waves. Sometimes it's calm. Sometimes there's ripples. There's a lot going on in the universe, creation and destruction. There's not just constantly this, the asteroids are not hitting each other. Everything's just peaceful and calm. There is ebb and flow in life, and that's life. That's how it works. That is the life that we live in. And in order to understand this from a moment to moment perspective, it takes jewel thinking because it took time to create your mind, right? It took time. Everything that you've done up to now, and if you believe in it from lifetimes before, it took time to create that. You're dealing with programming like a computer. You literally have grooves in your brain from this doing and this being that created a certain program in your mind. And that's what you're working with right now. But it's malleable. It can be finessed. You can change it. And so have some compassion and be gentle with it. Allow yourself to go through the motions and to move the energy, to say whatever you need to say about it. Listening to yourself speak out loud is going to be very helpful and useful in finding these jewels. Reflect on it, right? But at some point, start to try to incorporate and apply this idea of jewel thinking, right? Where you step back, right? So you've gone through the emotions, you've moved the energy, you're not as reactive, right? Because a lot of us are used to thinking we are our mind, all right, or we are our body. And so we live in somewhat of a reactive state to that. And so we are going with the emotions instead of allowing the emotions to come through and stepping back and processing what the heck just happened. Because you are not your mind. You are not your body. Your mind and your body is your vessel, your temple to carry you through this life so you can achieve what you came here to do. And achieving whatever your purpose is, it could be as simple as I'm here to create a family and to enjoy that and to live happily with my family. It could be very simple. So when things don't go right, it's not necessarily punishment. This isn't God or consequence or however you look at it is not out to get you. It's information. The world, the universe as we know it is information for you to take in, for you to create with, for you to reflect on, for you to process and work with. And so you can grow and achieve this purpose that I'm talking about that you came to do. So start to obtain this idea of becoming inquisitive and using these moments after you've moved the emotions and the grief and all of that to become opportunistic. You're starting to look at these moments as opportunities to find the jewel. So with this opportunistic thinking, it's going to detach you from the results of whatever it is that you're doing and start to strengthen your true self and what it is that you came here to do. And it's going to help you to become the observer of the situation. So you've got the idea of the jewel thinking, and that there's a jewel in when things are flowing for you, there's a jewel when things are not flowing, and there's a jewel in between the moments of when they were flowing and when they're not flowing. There's a jewel in there too. So how to practice that. So again, allow yourself to grieve. Let whatever come out, let that energy, the thought patterns, whatever, crying, throw a fit, let yourself go through that. And then stop. Breathe. Reflect. And just open up and listen and see what comes. And maybe you can't do it in the moment. Maybe this is something that comes in the rearview mirror tomorrow, right? Sometimes maybe this is something that comes the next time it happens. But what you're doing is you're developing a new relationship with yourself and your mind. You're starting that process of becoming the observer, not the reactor, right? Not the victim to the situation, because you're not. You're actually creating the situation. Someone once told me you are the factory of your own emotions, but I'll talk more about that later in other videos. See what your mind, your body, your emotions, the circumstance has to show you. What is the jewel in this particular situation, right? You're becoming the inquisitive self, no longer reacting, the observer. So there's a lot of information in there for you. This is about changing your mind ultimately. This is one small step that you can start to take to find out more about what just happened, right? And again, I'll repeat it again. Stop, breathe, reflect, listen, stay open. And again, if it doesn't happen right now, think about it maybe tomorrow, or you're going to get another opportunity. Because that's the wonderful thing about life, is that if you didn't learn from it, if you didn't get to grow from it, thank God, here it comes again. It's going to come right back around. You're going to get another chance, so don't worry. So in soul tuning, there are many other mindfulness practices that you can apply as well to get a even deeper understanding of the mind and what it is, and develop a deeper relationship with the mind. And the practices are many of examples like meditation, breathing exercises. These practices help to cleanse the mind and the brain and finesse it and reprogram it over time. Because you got to come at the mind/brain from different angles. There's going to be resistance. There's going to be a lot of blocks that are probably going to come up. So you got to be able to work with it from different angles, and it's got to be fun. There's got to be some fun aspect to it. So, and it helps to have a support system as well. So that's it, basically in a nutshell, about the idea of the jewel thinking, and this as a simple practice. I would love to hear from you. I only have my experiences and how I see the world through my mind. And it's diversity that makes us stronger. You know, this idea of teamwork, together, everybody achieves more. So I'd love to hear from you. Leave your comments below. Until the next video, blessings to you. Thanks for watching.